Right on time, too. We ready, Tony. Good evening, everybody. We ready to begin. Good evening, everybody. We
Good
just ready. Good
evening.
evening, everybody. This is your host, Mr. On Jones, and of course, welcome again. This is Tuesday, your normal show, your regular show, your hype for the white for the week, the round table talk. Let's get it. Let's get it. So this week, of course, is our 18th episode, if I'm not mistaken. And so, with the 18th episode, we are we done completed another round. So, uh, we excited about it. We're definitely excited about it. This week we're going to be talking about, of course, effects on national, state, and local stages, and of course, um, we try to be as engaging as possible, be as factual and relatable as possible when it comes to the roundtable talk and the individuals that we engage with. Please pardon me, I'm getting situated. I just wrapped up a meeting to come and do our regularly scheduled program. This
No
week's
excuses,
show,
just get on it.
it's just what?
No excuses, just get on it.
This week's theme is the price of silence, tyrants, taxes, and trading water. Again, you know, like I said, this is definitely the roundtable talk, and we do have quite a few things we want to talk about. So, to every truth seeker tuning in across the map, welcome, 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 welcome. Um, we don't, in this particular show, we don't sip from silence. We pour the truth and we pour it out loud. Now, while many of us were, having uh, fireworks, braving heat waves, and holiday barbecues, this past week, three alarms went off back to back. And those alarms, excuse me, those alarms were very, very loud. Now, I'm not sure if everybody in the community was able to hear them. So I'm actually able to bring that back to us or back to our recollection so that, we'll be in the know. Our first alarm came from the national level, and that was our birthright citizenship being on the chopping block. The Supreme Court uh, recent recently ruled limiting nationwide injunctions, opening the door for Trump's executive order 14160. And that executive order, is an order aimed to stripping the constitutional right of citizenship, actually, from babies born on U.S. soil to non-citizen parents. The same man who built a wall of lies about immigrants now wants to erase their children from existence in the American legal system. Um, and y'all, this isn't hypothetical. It's actually happening currently,
Right.
like right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and so, you know, it's happening in selective states, and Texas just so happened to be one of them. The second alarm comes from Texas being lackadaisy, or like Dr. Candace Matthews loved to tell everybody, lackluster in their representation. Texas is underwater, literally
Mm.
over
Mhm.
100 people are gone after this week's flooding. Families
I
washed
know
away, homes destroyed, and systems failed across the board, y'all.
it.
And now they're handing out prayers and paperwork while nobody can tell us or you who's funding what. Meanwhile, we're still chasing the next emergency with yesterday's budget. Alarm number three comes from back home here in Beaumont. The bond committee is playing Monopoly with splash pads and parking lots while sewage backups in people's tubs and brown water runs from their faucets. Decisions about your tax dollars are being made by people with tax abatements, folks who won't or don't even feel the pinch that they're pushing on to everyday citizens. So tonight, we're bringing the heat right back. Let's call this meeting of the roundtable to order. With me tonight, our sharpest minds and loudest truth speakers, I have Dr. Catherine Campbell, our historian and justice scholar, Perry Busby, the people's investigator, and Dustin Harris, of course, as you know, the tongue of the street. I love it, man. I love
Love
everything that you
it.
all. I'm sorry.
I say love it.
I love everything that we bring to the table. So it's definitely something worth engaging and listening to, especially for those that's paying attention. Um, so with my co-host, let's get to work. Segment number one is, like I said, birthright, citizenship in peril. Birthright in peril, citizenship, court, and consequences. Um, Again, this is our national topic. Um, my co-host may even my co-host may even have a few things to say about, and I hope y'all have something to say about something that was said from one of the Texas representatives, Jasmine Crockett, when it comes to birthright citizenship and what the president is currently trying to do. So, like I said, excuse me, the Supreme Court's recent decision limiting birth limiting nationwide injunctions, that's court injunctions, cleared the way for Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, a move that strips rights from children born here and threatens due process. Though the court hasn't ruled on constitutionality, the order's enforcement could begin in select jurisdictions this summer. This isn't, again, theoretical. This is foundational citizenship under attack. Your raw talking points that you could have at your table, of course, we definitely like for you to do. And is June 27th, Supreme Court of the United States curtails injunctions, potentially enabling Executive Order 14160 and is challenging to birthright claims. Also, Trump's Executive Order 14160 triggered 10 federal lawsuits. Blocks remain, but many states aren't included. Children born to undocumented visa parents face uncertain rights, including the 14th Amendment protection is at risk. Legal scholars warn this chips away at constitutional guardrails, citizenship for sale via bureaucracy. Y'all remember them vouchers that they was offering? Sources of reference, again, comes from the Washington Post on Supreme Court injunction listments. You can definitely check that out at Washington Post, WashingtonPost.com. FT.com also has a Trump claims victory as Supreme Court curbs nationwide injunctions. Wikipedia, believe it or not, overview of the executive order 14160 in Washington versus Trump legal status. You could definitely check that out as it's being updated on a daily basis. Um, PBS what judges said explanation article. That's on pbs.org. And this is what judges said about birthright citizenship and nationwide move. Roundtable talk to my co-hosts. If America strips citizenship from babies born here, how do we fight tyranny disguised as immigration reform before it erases fundamental rights? I want to know from Miss Cat.
You do that
No,
every single time. Okay, so tonight I'm gonna yield my time to Dustin first
well,
today.
for me, it's
I'm
really
ready
ladies
though.
first. It's ladies first. Even if Dustin wants to try to crack his mouth, he gonna get muted because every time on the round table talk, it's ladies first.
Okay. You twisted my arm. I'm ready.
I'm glad to twist it just a little bit. I didn't want to apply too much pressure because
It ain't take much, huh? Yeah,
oh man,
defending birthright citizenship and resisting tyranny disguised as reform disguised as reform. If America begins revoking citizenship of children born on its soil, we must recognize that this is not reform. It's tyranny masquerading as patriotic masquerading in patriotic clothing.
mm,
The 14th Amendment of the Constitution is clear. All persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. To roll back this principle is not an immigration policy, it is an erosion of our most sacred right. So now to fight this, this moment calls for courage, clarity, and collective action. We must first of all speak out publicly. Every pulpit, podium, and platform must be used to declare that justice denied to the least of us is justice denied to all of us. We got to organize and mobilize, join forces with legal defenders, community leaders, faith institutions, and civil rights organizations to push back through protest petitions and public hearings. We got to be at the meeting. We got to have a seat at the table.
right, right,
All
right,
right. And our faith leaders need not to be afraid of losing their 5013C or 5043C, whichever one it is they have. They need
you
to just
say
speak
however
up.
you call it, whichever one you got.
Whichever one
Don't
you
be
got, don't be
scared.
afraid to speak up for your people,
Right,
right?
right,
We have to use the courts. We have to challenge such unconstitutional actions in federal court. We have to we have the legal precedent, moral authority, and historical backing to win. And we're a minority majority coastal city right here, so we really can win here if
right.
we
I
all
totally
come
agree.
out and band together. Okay, we got to work together. We're all strong individually, but we're stronger collectively, right? We got to vote relentlessly. Tyranny survives when good people stay home on election day.
Right,
Local
right.
and national leaders must be held accountable at the ballot box. And we got to educate the people. Many
Mm-hmm.
do not understand that ending birthright citizenship is a step towards selective citizenship, one that can be welded against any group at any time. Stripping citizenship from innocent children is not reform, it's regression.
Right.
It does not strengthen the nation, it weakens our moral foundation. It does not protect borders, it tramples the Constitution. We cannot allow it, not now, not ever.
I totally agree. I totally
Let's
agree.
see here. Oh, I got some more if you want it.
I'm waiting on
Let's
you
see.
to wrap up.
Okay.
Give it to us, Queen. Go in.
Uh,
You've been MIA anyway. You've been
uh,
absent.
I I wasn't absent in spirit though, baby. I've been
You
with y'all
already know
all
you never
along.
absent in spirit, Queen. We always got you.
We fight this not just as immigrants or descendants of immigrants, but as Americans, by birth, by struggle, and by unshakable commitment to liberty and justice for all. We got to stand up for birthright citizenship. If America starts taking away citizenship from babies born here, that's not immigration reform. It's a dangerous step away from tyranny. The 14th Amendment clearly says anyone born in the U.S. is a citizen, and changing that would violate our Constitution and put everyone's right at risk. And
Right.
this is how we fight back. We got to speak up, join together, use the courts' vote, and educate others. Stripping babies of citizenship is wrong. It's un American, and we must not stay silent.
I totally agree.
Bingo.
I totally agree. I totally agree. 100%. Because eventually there's a trickle down effect, right?
That's
And
right.
I'm sure one of our co-hosts, whether it's Dustin or Perry, is definitely going to touch on that. So, Dustin, being that I don't see Perry yet, he needs just make sure he's not backstage for us. Push T. Um, Make sure Perry Busby is not backstage for us. But Dustin, if America strips citizenship from babies born here, how do we fight tyranny disguised as immigration reform before it erases fundamental rights?
I'm just put it like this. Sometimes you gotta let that building burn, and this one gonna burn for a while. Because people like to, start games like this when they don't really understand the outcome, because they might want to check when they say birthright citizenship. Okay, cool. Let's play this game. Look at America. Which one of y'all grandparents look like they not from here?
All of them.
Which one of y'all grandmas look like they not from here?
All of them.
See,
Even
this
Trump,
ain't the
because he came
game.
from Germany.
That's what I'm saying. This ain't the game
Oh,
they really want to play, because it can
For
be
real.
turned around so fast. Because let's
Mm.
just think about it. Cool.
FAFO.
A lot of y'all last names are Germans, Swedish, Russian, Ukrainian. So all I'm saying, that's cool. Let's play this. How many generations do you have in America? Cool.
that part.
Mine, I know mine probably like 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 deep.
You don't have one peer.
But I could tell you one thing: half of these names, they ain't from here. Because
So
I can
no.
Google and it say your daddy is actually from Cuba, Mr.
Uh,
Cruz.
uh, the Pope.
When Trump ain't really your last name, you changed it to make it sound more American.
Mm.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
about the
See, I
Pope.
knew somebody was going to be doing some digging.
I can go
I
through
knew
the whole
The
somebody was
Pope
going to
House.
from
do some digging.
Belize, huh?
I go through the House, representatives, congressmen, all them governors. All y'all got some funny names
Mm.
that aren't technically American. So do we
Mm.
really want to play this birthright citizenship game? It's
It's
gonna leave a
selective.
lot of people out in the cold.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Representative Crockett said it. Said it almost best. The um, first lady of the United States of America is an immigrant
And
who
so is
gave
all her children.
who gave birth to children who are here in the United States based on the 14th Amendment. Mind you, the way that our current First Lady went about receiving citizenship in the United States is considered backdoor dealish,
Yep.
if you really want to think about it, right? And
Mail a
so,
lot of right.
you know, our president says that, he wants to eradicate or get rid of or regulate birthright citizenship. Well, just like Dustin said, Mr. President, your mother was an immigrant.
His father was an immigrant.
We just talking about birthright though. Let's let's
The
let's
German
let's stick
president gave him
let's
gave him a certificate.
let's stick with the womb bearers first.
Okay.
We're gonna stick with the womb bearers because men can't birthright. Women can. Women are the only ones that can birthright, right?
All
So,
right.
Mr. President, and y'all know I do not call that man Mr. President, but this particular night, I have to call you Mr. President because I want you, sir, to understand how much of an immigrant you are in my country. Just like Dustin said, my lineage and genealogy and bloodline circles this country longer than the imposed slavery that you all brought here when you tried to
Right.
when you colonized my country or colonized my land. So, if you want to talk about birthright citizenship, that includes even many of you $5 Indians who claim that you are a part of my community and come to find out you are members of the European descent. You don't wait for a court date, you fight this now. This is racial policy cloaked in immigration reform. They want to be defined American by lineage, not by law. That's not just unconstitutional, you all. That's a path to apartheid. Period.
That's
And
right.
you call it what you want. I'm telling you what it is.
That's what
They're
they want.
coming for a rewritten America, one that picks its citizens like it picks juries, selected, sanitized, and silent. We need legal defense funds, movement, building, public education campaigns, and pressure on local courts not to enforce federal overreach. Again, this is not political. This is 100% survival. I saw Perry tip in, and I was gonna hand him the mic, but we're gonna try again. Whenever he tips back in, hopefully we get a stable connection in that Arizona heat. Um, Again, like I said, this isn't political, y'all. This is survival. Any recaps on this particular subject?
Now I
Mm-mm.
just want to say, hey, Dr. Matthews up here watching.
Oh, awesome, 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 awesome. Um, good. What's up, cuz? Dr. Matthews. Now
Hey,
let's take that energy to the state level if we possibly could, where the floods took lives, but the state still won't open its wallet. Segment two, we're digging into Texas uh, flooded again. Who's paying to rebuild? What we're digging into this particular segment is July 4th weekend, Central Texas floods killed over 100 people and destroyed infrastructure. Despite years of warning, flood prevention projects are underfunded and 911 alerts failed at critical moments. Now, the question becomes who pays to do the rebuilding? And how do we fund it without leaving families drowning in perpetual debt, you might as well say? Again, over 104 for your raw talking points on your at your table is over 104 deaths, including 28 children, six counties declared disaster zones. Um, um, National Weather Services issued flash flood warnings, but no siren or text infrastructure was implemented. Again, $100 million plus in needed upgrades, unfunded for years by the state of Texas. Not NOAA, the state of Texas. The surplus that we sit on here in the state of Texas. Projects that pertain to sustaining life goes underfunded. Just so y'all know that. Just so y'all know that. State level flood control projects need $54 billion with a B, billion dollars. Legislative funded just $669 million with an M. You short. Your math ain't mathing in Austin. The comptroller or somebody. FEMA and HUD aid flowing in, but most recovery costs roll out to local and state taxpayers. Because if y'all remember last week, we talked about what the in this particular matter, I could call him what I call him, what the orange orangutan said he was going to do with FEMA.
Cut it out.
Completely out. So any work that we have seen that we know is done by natural disasters, that process is an ongoing process. We're still building homes from Ike, Rita, and Harvey, y'all. I did say Ike, Rita, and Harvey, or should I say that? Should have said
2005.
Rita,
I just want to let you know that.
Right. You have to.
2005.
Sources to reference again: the Guardian, which is an AP paper, Associated Press coverage of Texas floods. You could definitely find all of that information there, as well as Axios, AXIOS.com. Politico report on broken warning systems in the Texas area. HUD and Texas GLO disaster grant overview. Read that for yourself to find out where did this money go. I'm telling you, you will find out some people had special interests that you're that is your elected. So, just keep that in mind. Roundtable co-host question: with flood damage wiping out families and officials pointing fingers at storms, like that was the storm's fault, not ours. Who's holding the footing to rebuild, and how do we demand state level funding now? Queen, you have the floor.
Sure, flood damage has destroyed homes, displaced families, and shaken communities. But while officials blame the weather, people are still waiting for real help, right? Storms may cause damage, but government inaction deepens the crises. We don't need finger pointing, we need funding. So who's holding the footing? We are. The neighbors, churches, and local leaders, while state and federal officials drag their feet. But here's how we push for action. We demand emergency aid from our governor and congressional representatives. We call, write, and we show up. We organize local voices, clergy, civil leaders, business owners to stand united and be heard.
Right.
We have to push for disaster declarations that unlock federal resources fast. And we have to call the media and tell our story. Pressure moves policy. And we have to track the money. We hold them accountable. Who's getting funds and why are others being left behind? We don't rebuild by waiting. We rebuild by standing together and demanding justice. Help can't wait. Hope can't wait. Action must happen now.
Exactly. I totally agree. Dustin, give us something, bro.
Check my notes on this.
Get in it, man.
All right, let's see. So I remember old saying, you don't study history, you fail to repeat it. Well, July 17th, 1987, Guadalupe River had a massive flood.
Stop. No, go on.
Please go on.
It was national news.
It did make
there was
national
no
news.
warning system. People
They
died.
use the up phone system, huh?
Chuck, they ain't used nothing. Campers died because of the flood. Cool. Let's fast forward. What was it? 4th of July, 2025.
Mm, mm, mm.
Guadalupe
Say it
River, massive flood.
again.
No alarm system to alert folks.
Mm.
The people whose job it was to send out notifications was let go during the Doge move.
Righteous. Tell it, Dustin.
The state of Texas had opportunity to put in water sirens and alarms a few years back. I think 2017. They decided
Hold
not to.
on. Excuse me, Dustin. They
Mm-hmm.
read the minutes today where that county refused those sirens.
I bet they did because it came
They
along
read
with a
the
bunch of
minutes
other
on the news today.
stuff.
The
I
county
guarantee,
refused those sirens.
I guarantee it
I'm
came
quite
along with
sure
a
they
lot of
would have if they
stipulations.
had to pay for it.
But I'm just saying, it's an easy way to fix this because I believe in 2026 is the midterms. So
Mm,
three
come
easy
on,
steps to take care of it. One,
vote.
get rid of Greg Abbott.
Come on,
Step two, get rid of Dan Patrick.
come on.
Step three, go and get Rafael Eduardo Cruz up out of there as well.
Come
Fact.
on.
Hey, and don't forget about the attorneys general who is trying to run for our direct
What
representative
is it?
here
Ken
against John
Paxton?
Cornyn.
Paxton?
Yes, the
Yeah, you
criminal
gonna ride him up out of
attorney.
there too. Get all these judges, let's bully, roll them up out of there too. Because what people
Okay.
don't realize, with these low turnouts to vote, you can actually steal a bunch of the elections if you gather folks
Ex-
together.
Exactly, because we are a minority majority coastal city. That means we are in the predominance. Come on, if we come together and go vote,
I'm just saying. I've
we could wake up a sleeping giant, huh?
and with the Guadalupe River, from what I heard from folks, they said that river from just normal rain, it'll do that.
It will.
So I'm what we got to do to realize fat meat greasy?
You gotta figure out where fat meat
What?
come from, Dustin. They gotta figure out where it come from. They don't know
It
where it
comes
come
from the
from.
chunky part of the animal,
Study that history, huh? Because
not the.
you are doomed to repeat it if you don't know it, huh?
Absolutely.
Don't get the muscular
Absolutely.
part. That's just meat. You gotta get that jiggly part of the animal. That's where the fat.
Get down in that valley, huh? Yeah.
Because all I'm saying, we just gonna keep repeating this over and over and over and over. That's like put some barricades out. Like they talk about, oh well, there was no one to warn them. Why did you allow them to have camp when you knew
This
Tropical
was a
Storm
potential in the
Barry
first place.
was in the Gulf?
They didn't
All
know
this,
it's gonna rain that much.
and
But
why
they
I ain't
know
hear
but
about
they know they
Barry
flood often. They know that.
every Tuesday apparently.
Oh man. Oh man. So we're gonna have to make sure we keep an eye out on them when we're doing our show.
And I just want to know, it was weird to me. I seen Tropical Storm Barry form at the bottom of Mexico, and I didn't hear about it again.
He was doing what?
Tropical Storm Barry, when it formed into a tropical storm, it was at the
Yeah.
bottom of Mexico.
Yep.
You didn't hear about that storm on the news again. And you still haven't, because they still didn't say the flooding was from that tropical
From
storm.
that storm. Come on here, Dustin.
I'm just saying, I remember
You got people
meteorologists.
believing across the country that these folks just flooded out of nowhere. Chris, what happened? Was it a dam that broke? Was it a levee that
No.
broke?
No.
It was a tropical storm that decided to hold tight real quick and drop some rain.
Yeah.
If only there was a meteorologist to tell them about that storm.
Man.
But Noah sent out several warnings to them and they ignored them. One girl say she saw the warning, but she just swiped her phone. She didn't even bother to read it.
You gonna swipe your phone. Ain't nobody pay attention to them little alerts. You know how many alerts come across people's phones? Ain't
And
nobody got time
living
for that.
here in the state of Texas, 9 times out of 10, when you hear that alert, I mean, we're so conditioned to know that when we hear that alert, it's child abduction. It's
Cause
never
You
something
can set
like
your alerts for what you wanted to alert for. If
true.
you
You
want child
can,
abductions, you can
true.
set
You
that.
can, you
Because mine
definitely
is set
can.
for
But
weather. Mine ain't set for child abductions.
even in the same breath, when I know that I'm majority of the time living here in the state of Texas, that alert is going to come because there's a child that's missing, not because my life or anything of that nature is to be in danger. So 9 times out of 10, something that needs to happen. Change the type of alert when my life is in danger compared to when somebody picked up Susie. This wasn't just weather, it was failure, y'all. Failure of infrastructure, failure of
Yep.
response, failure of responsibility. The
All
warnings
day
came,
long.
but there were no functioning sirens, no updated emergency text. Why? Because Texas has ignored its own hazard funding priorities for years. We need $54 billion statewide for flood prevention. We got less than 2% of that in the budget, and you want to know what they spent instead? Roads to nowhere and campaign donations. That's where it went. FEMA
Mm.
is coming, but again, slowly. HUD will drop some grants, but again, not enough. So who pays to rebuild? Us, through the local
Mm-hmm.
taxes, drained insurance policies, because we're going to pay for those on our insurance policies as well,
Yep.
and massive personal debt. I'm tired of Texas crying poor or foul
Mm.
after every disaster. This state
Mm.
knows how to fund what it values, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Prisons,
That's what it
no
values.
problem. Gun subsidies, write the check. But keeping people alive in storms, suddenly it's a freaking math problem, and nobody in Austin knows what 2 plus 2 equals. We need direct advocacy, just like my co-host Ms. Cat said. Demand full accountability of every flood prevention dollar spent or withheld by these administrations. That's your city mayor, that's your county judge, that's your state district representative, that's your, like he said, Tadadisha Cruz,
Our comptroller, our
I was about to say
attorneys,
your comptroller, your
everybody.
Department of Transportation, the railroad commissioner. All of those people have every dime that you seeking. I guarantee you that's where it's being diverted. That's where it's being diverted. Tie disaster relief funding to transparency metrics. Organize around local elections that feed into state budgeting, because right now we're letting people die and rebuild their lives with duct tape while billionaires get tax breaks in disaster zones. Let's bring it all the way home. Now, because while Texas dodges its duties, Beaumont is over here building parks while sewage run down the street. Segment 3, local topic.
Yeah.
Uh, bonds by the few, burdens on the many. Man, what we're digging into this particular topic is the Beaumont Bond Committee is preparing a proposal for this November. Projects prioritizing splash pads and or whatever we see fit, because we are the individuals that will be voting on it. Rec centers and downtown beautification, but the selection committee is over 70 plus. Committee is over 70% over the age of 65. 70% of the committee is over the age of 65. I'm gonna say it one more time because everybody at the age of 60 receives certain abatements. So over 70% of the committee is over the age of 65. Many with tax abatements, and made no effort to include young families or small business owners. Not 1 cent was earmarked for core needs like structural sewage repair or storm drain repair or street maintenance or anything of that nature, because we just need a dollar road extension so that we could build it and hope that they come. Make that make sense? Did we not do an extension behind Parkdale Mall, and we're still waiting on development in that space? We built that. The taxpayers built that, not the developers, not the individuals that want to see things go that way. The taxpayers are the ones that built that street, and it's still vacant till this day. Your raw talking points that you could have at your table is July 4th public input request committee preliminary seniors with abatements. Check that out, kfdm.com. Flooded toilets and brown water complaints surge, still no allocation for labor or plumbing upgrades. City Council previously approved $60 million for water and sewer bond, yet this 2025 proposal lacks those same priority fixes. New revenue bonds for parks and parking, but still no plan for business retention or economic development post overflow. Sources you could definitely reference is KFDM report on public input and composition of bond committee, and that's kfdm.com. Beaumont Enterprise on water and sewer bond history, that's at beaumontenterprise.com. And city Facebook announcements and city website calendar noting meetings about the bond proposal. This Saturday is a open house about the bond. Definitely, if you have the opportunity between the hours of 10 and 12, please show up. Let them know what your idea is and what needs to be on this bond so that you, as residents, can vote for it this coming November. The roundtable question for my co-host is, if bond decision makers won't pay, but we will, how do we demand representation, accountability, and investments that matter now? Queen, you have the floor.
Let's start right here.
Where we starting at, Queen?
That's not leadership. That's exploitation. I'm just saying. I'm going to call it out, huh?
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
That is exploitation in its finest. We're tired of bonds that fund what benefits the few while our roads, schools, homes, and hospitals, to say the least, go neglected, huh?
Yeah.
If the community carries the financial burden, then the community should have a real voice in how the money is spent. I said a real voice, okay? And here's how we demand accountability now. We got to show up at the bond hearings and budget meetings. So we need to go to that meeting. We need to be at that meeting. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I promise you I'm going to send my note here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to make my voice heard on record and have it on record. We got to call for citizen oversight boards. We need that. Do we have that in our city, an oversight board? I ain't never heard of one. We got to refuse to support bonds that don't include clear investments in our neighborhoods, right? We got to organize town halls and forums where people, not just officials, set the priorities. We got to vote with purpose. Local elections decide how bonds are used. No more blank checks, no more backroom deals. If we're footing the bill, then we must demand investments that serve all of us, not just some of us. Boom. Mic drop.
Come on, mic drop. I like that energy, how you came out there with that too, because that's 100%, Queen. That's factual.
Exploitation.
Exploitation. Dustin, go ahead. You got the floor.
Scenes that ain't paying a dime. Go ahead, Dustin. I'm sorry.
uh, with all the news I've been hearing about this bond that we ain't had since 1943,
Mm.
it seems like they still trying to put
Wait,
makeup.
but wait, Dustin. Since
Uh-huh.
43?
That's what I heard. 1943, or is it
I
43
thought it was at
years?
least 43 years. We haven't had a bond in 43 years.
It really don't matter. I'm only 40, so it's been my
Look, I'm
lifetime.
45.
Yeah, it's pretty much been. It's my whole
So
life.
that means that happened in 1983?
Must have been 82, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the exact years.
Right
Golly.
after I got out of school, huh?
God, look, golly. We got children older than the last bond.
I'm telling you.
I
But it
mean,
seems like the
younger than
city
the
of
last bond.
Beaumont still trying to paint a pig and call it American Next Top Model when y'all need to stop that and get to these structure. Cool. You want to beautify the city. Guess what's gonna make the city look real nice? I ain't a preacher kid, so I'm gonna just say it. What's gonna make the city look real nice is shit not being in people's houses.
I'm a preacher's kid, and I could have said that, Dustin.
It's being able to flush down the damn toilet, whatever it's
That
raining.
part, Dustin. That part.
I'm just saying, you want some bonds? Cool. Let's play the bond game. How about we fix stuff that needs to be fixed? How about we tell TxDOT stop tearing up our freeways? Y'all want road projects? Cool. Dig the road up, fix the pipes under it, then put the road back down.
Exactly.
That'll help with your road budget.
You know what, Dustin? That would be easy had they not been putting Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid.
I don't care how many Band-Aids you put on.
Wait a minute. I had a constituent come to the neighborhood association and complain that it was taking too long. And somebody had to pull him to the side and let him know either you want it right or you want it fast. Now, what you want? You want it fast or you want it right? Because that company had to come, I don't know, several months in front of my house to handle what's happening down 3 streets over here. 3 streets over.
I mean, we do remember that the state that TxDOT hired, contracted out of, you might as well say out of state, out of country contractor to do Concord once before. So, I mean, we're looking at, how.
But this company is out of Houston. This company is out of Houston, and they're gonna do it fast or they're gonna do it right. And look like they're doing it right to me this time, because they had a lot of mess back there in the bottom.
It could be done fast and right. Because what is your definition of fast? All I'm saying, it don't take several months to.
Well, they finding problem after problem. The more they dig, the more problems they're finding. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's the problem. You already
because they just been putting Band-Aids on them.
Is jacked up.
Yeah, especially on the east side of the city.
Start on one end, work to the other. No, the whole street of Lucas, all that piping need to be redone. Start on one end of Lucas, probably when Lucas run into Pine, and work your way to the other end of Lucas and get all that taken care of. Stop trying to cut we're just gonna fix this section. Go on, tap that whole street. One side at a time, do it smart so people can still drive.
Well, what most of us aren't paying attention to, Dustin, is especially in that area down Pine, there is a population shift, a proposed population shift. And in that shift comes reallocation of individuals as well as infrastructure. So like water, sewage, all of that will be moved to make way for the Riverfront project or the Riverwalk project.
So what they gonna do? You can't flush the toilet at the riverfront.
They're not worried about that. They don't care because shit runs on the top of the ground anyway. So why we worried? Perry, I see you tipped in. I don't know if you wanna, you know what I'm saying, weigh in on our third topic, bond by the few, burdens of the many. But we definitely we're working our way to a close this evening. But go ahead, if you got something to give us on this local topic, give it to us, bro.
No, I think you all have added the most pertinent information. I mean, I try to uh, stay on top of this as best as possible, being away from it. So it's been kind of a mixed bag between listening online and again just talking to some individuals. Uh, what I get from it is that no one uh, is against uh, making enhancements and providing these amenities. The big issue is what are we getting for our dollars? And I know some have said, hey, for $15, that's not a lot, and all I can remember is a guy out of New York saying the rent is too damn high, you
Rent
know,
too damn
and,
high.
and so I don't care what how much tax you put on there. For some, the tax is too damn high for what I'm getting in return. And
Exactly.
I think those are valid. I think those are valid uh, inputs from the community who I don't think are saying we shouldn't have a bond, but let's make sure that the bond gives us more in terms of, uh, for some people, just their everyday quality of life. And so
Yeah.
when you ask me to pay $15 and you saying that that's not much, well, I'm, then how much, what is too much for putting up with fecal materia and bacteria uh, permeating through my house,
Come
and
on, people.
how much is too high for
Yes.
me to put up with just the unsanitary uh, conditions, not by my own doing.
That part right there. Said it again. Not by my own doing. So you want me to pay
These
for
are not by
something?
my own doing.
Yeah, you want me to pay for something that I didn't do, that I didn't neglect, that I didn't cause?
Yeah,
No. Yeah, like you said, yes.
yeah.
Let's have a
And
bond
and
issue.
and I think yeah, and I think they should be. I think especially now the bond committee and those involved should really be mindful now as we look and uncover and discover what all happened in Central Texas and the lack of oversight, not just by the federal government or just by the state government, because the state it hands are very dirty in this, but also the local officials who said, "Oh well, no big deal. We know ways to get around it," but not at any point thinking about the extreme conditions for putting bubble gum on that transistor, like we've been doing.
It
You
was
know,
it wasn't even big leagues too.
right? Yeah.
It wasn't even pal gum, and you know pal gum hold tight, y'all. You could at least put some gum with
So
some
so
stabilization behind it.
I think Jefferson County and Beaumont should really, I mean, should really be looking at that and saying, okay, where do we best invest our resources
I
and
mean,
our attention?
I agree. Look at what's going on currently, but the city of Beaumont, as well as Austin, y'all, have not paid attention to the things that have been happening in the past. I remember coming home October 2nd, 2000 and what, two? Tropical Storm Lily or Hurricane Lily rained on Beaumont for 12 days. Not only did it rain on Beaumont, but it rained upriver from Beaumont. So that means everything, including our ground, was already saturated. And there was nothing that we would have been possible that was possible to do on our side to mitigate some of the floodwaters that we saw running up Pine. I mean, running up Pine to maybe, let's say, Light Street. How about that? Sound about right. That sound about right. Maybe even, look, I'm cutting it short because I'd even say Wise, and that's probably about that big of a gap.
No,
We'll
yeah,
say Wise.
I'm gonna tell you exactly where it came. It came all the way up. It came up Wise to Grand Street.
See, somebody else
The
paid attention
the
in
uh
2002 and
you
saw it
you
as
you can get the
well.
top of your feet wet at the corner of Grand and Wise.
I thought I was the only one that paid attention to
Yeah,
that.
but all of the bottom down in the bottom on the other side of Pine was flooded. They had water. I think 4 feet of water in the church on the corner, if I'm not mistaken. Either 4 or 6 feet of water in that church,
I
and
know
that's
you
that's
had
on the
at
other
least
side
knee
of
high
Pine.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Knee high, at least knee high water.
No, it was better than knee high, baby. It was 4. I'm 5 feet
At
tall. Yeah,
least,
it was
at
4 feet.
least.
It was 4 feet. I'm
What you
telling you.
say? I'm
I'm not
2 feet
guessing.
tall.
You better hear what I say now. Yeah, they had to tear everything out of there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but we haven't learned our lesson then, Perry. So we wouldn't. It didn't need for some disastrous measures to happen in Central Texas for us to understand and or know. These are things that happened when our governor was our attorney general. So let me paint the picture clear. Beaumont's preparing a new bond proposal for the November election. A lot of nice headlines like splash pads, recreational center, sports center, parking lots. That all sounds good. That sounds great, right? But here's the fine print that I think no one is talking about, even those that support these ideas. No allocation for sewage upgrades. That includes the building and growth you're talking about doing in the budget or in the bond. No plan for broken streets, which includes us as residents getting to some of these spaces that you propose in the bond. No funding to retain or attract businesses, which are some of the heavier paying individuals as taxes. They can't, secure an abatement because they are a senior, right? No funding or to retain or attract new businesses. And to the people on the bond planning committee, mostly, as I said, over 65, many sitting on tax abatements that and exemptions that they qualify for um, from their very taxes they're about to raise on everybody else. And if it's not a tax increase, you could guarantee that you're going to have a usage rate increase, whether it comes through your water usage rate, whether it comes through your trash usage rate, whether it comes, through your fire department usage, your police usage. I mean, all of these things is considered an amenity that the city provides, not gives.
Exploitation.
And
Exploitation.
so when you hear bond, understand this is not free money. We didn't say grant, we said a bond. It's your
Mhm.
money. And unless you speak up on it, unless you speak out about it, and how you perceive it should be spent, they're going to take, say it again, Miss Cat,
Exploitation.
of you and your next legacy or lineage that you leave here in the city of Beaumont.
Mhm.
This is the city playing Monopoly with real lives. And I'm not talking about with paper money. We
And they
do
already
not.
started with the water department.
We do not need another park to beautify a downtown no one walks through because we can't reach it. We need working pipes. We need clean water and streets that don't collapse or flood when it rains. How many times did you remember in the stories covered by the news where a street collapsed out of no freaking where? And not just on the east side of the city, on the west side of the city as well. So don't just give us, oh, that's old infrastructure. No, that's neglect at its finest. The next time you flush your toilet and it backs up, think about the committee that prioritized the splash pad over your plumbing. It's time for younger voices and younger homeowners to be not only at the table, but to be engaged. Renters, single parents, entrepreneurs, and elders who actually show up for their neighborhoods, not just their retirement communities, right? And if we don't get it in those rooms, if we don't get in those rooms now, if we don't get it in those rooms now, we're going to be the generation that paid the most and got the least. And then the next generation is going to be the generation that received not a dime from the individuals that invested not only in them, but their lives and sustainability here in the city of Beaumont. It's about time to give us our final thought. Perry, I know you wasn't here for the bulk of everything, so I'll let you go and give us something to carry us for the rest of the week. Miss Cat, you will definitely have the floor to follow. And Dustin, if you don't mind wrapping that one up, and then I'll give my opinion. Go ahead, Perry.
I'm gonna leave it with the scripture that I've been walking with every day this week, and it says, "In all labor there is profit. In all your work
Yes,
there
sir.
is profit. But idle chatter leads only to poverty." We can't just talk about it. I don't care where you start in it, just be about it.
Man.
Your labor will be rewarded. But we can't do the idle chit chat anymore because we see where it is needed.
I totally agree.
Put labor in your work, put labor in your talk.
I totally agree, Miss Cat.
That's it.
Speak up. Be present. Be present at the table. It determines how you live, where you live. Go and vote. And hold them all accountable.
Appointed and elected alike. I know that's
Bingo.
right. Dustin.
All right, good people. They always say things start at home. So for all this political stuff, your stuff start at home. So let's take out. I'm pretty sure no matter what age you are, you know how to work a cell phone. Cool. There's a Google section on there. Even if you can't type it, just press a little microphone. You can speak it. You can type City of Beaumont City Council. Go ahead and click on that website button, and it will pull up every city council member, no matter if they are Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, at large, or the mayor. And then there's a little funny button right under each one of their pictures. Let's say contact. When you hit that, go ahead, scroll down again. You can click whoever you want to communicate with. Put all your name, number, leave a message. And guess what? This little button works as many times as you feel like pressing it. So if you want to contact them every day, do that. You want to contact them every other day, every hour. I don't give a dang. Get their attention till they call you back. And if they don't get you on there, guess what? Each one of them got a Facebook page.
Right.
And they like campaigning on it, so they can like answering messages on it. You know, just a little helpful tip. Cause I'll tell you right now, if some shit rolled back up in my house, a city council member getting slapped.
Or a nice envelope with that same shit. I definitely agree. I thank you all for viewing, for watching. For my co-host, I thank y'all for bringing that heat as y'all always do. I know Perry had some things that he would definitely have liked to sniped on when it came to data. But we'll run this back again. We'll probably have these discussions again. So hold on to your notes or expound on your notes. Let me say this to you all: we are not powerless. Do not believe that we are powerless, but we are at a breaking point. We are definitely at a breaking point. And for anybody that will say, "Oh, I'm sick of fighting," I totally understand. I get it, right? But my elders and my ancestors didn't say, "Well, I give up." They did say that they were tired. They did, think that these things would not bring anybody any freedoms, let alone something to fruition. Um, the failure to fund emergency systems is a choice, not a fluke. I want all of us to know that. I want all of us to know that. The fight for citizenship is the fight for existence. And in a space that my ancestors existed already ago, to believe that their descendants will allow you to eradicate them from their homelands. I'm sorry, Mr. Orange Orangutan and many others. You got us sadly mistaken. And the way we spend money locally is a mirror of who we care about and who we ignore. If you don't like the reflection, change the system behind it. Change the individuals who push the system, whether they're elected and or appointed. I want you all to know that this city is only functional because you live here, because you pay taxes here. And the more you disengage, the less and less the city is going to reflect what it can do for you. We've carried the city of Beaumont on our backs for over 300 years, if you ask me. But I know for sure 100 plus, 130 something years for sure. Our legacy speaks it. Our history tells it. And now it is up to the descendants to continue either going backwards or moving our city to an elevated state. I'm Christopher Jones, and this is the Roundtable Talk Show where facts speak and we don't flinch. Let's keep pushing. And as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Y'all have a good night. God bless. See y'all next Tuesday. I don't know. Did Pusha T go to sleep?
I don't know. He just stepped away.
Oh, he did step away. He might have stepped away. If y'all don't mind, co-host, hit the red X at the bottom. That's how you end this one.
Ready?
Y'all have a good night.